Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's Your Weekly TheraTea Podcast. My name is Tell Williams, or Mr. Williams Pre-K on social media. I'm a therapist and a teacher, and over here we have the lovely...
I'm Anne-Marie DiPietro, and I am still a psychiatric nurse practitioner.
Still.
I did that just for you, because you said that I didn't do it last week.
I was like devastated. I'm like, oh my gosh, where did it go?
I know. When I was making the shirts, I was like, oh, I should have printed it like still a nurse practitioner.
Still.
Yeah.
She made us shirts.
Yeah.
Aren't they? They're cute. Yours has like the cute upper prim. I think mine's like that like bleach tie-dye thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
I made us some different varieties, some Barbie lettering and, merch. Oh, the pens came. Our little
with
mug
our little mug on it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna make pens too.
Yeah. I already made some. I brought them today, but I forgot to bring them up. So next time.
I've been dying to tell you the story, and I was like, I was gonna tell you Monday at work, and I was gonna tell you yesterday, and I was like, no, I have to save it for the podcast. So Wednesday, I took Teddy, our dog, out for a walk. It's like 10:30 at night, and we not gonna give a lot of information. The apartment neighborhood we live in is like a legit neighborhood. Like it's like away from the road. It like winds in, and you can't pull in and like pull out on a different street, right? Like it's there's no outlet, right? Yeah. But there's a bunch of buildings in there.
Oh yeah.
So I was walking Teddy, and a lot of people like order Uber or get Ubers to go to and from, and so it's not uncommon at all for people to get lost. Mm-hmm. We're going down one of the roads, one of the little streets. Again, it's a very quiet neighborhood too. And a car goes by super slow, an SUV, super, super, super slow. And then they like turn at the stop sign and they keep going. I'm like, that's kind of weird, because like they're driving as if they're lost. Not like people who live there, they live there. They drive fast and they shouldn't. But they also went in a direction that like you can't turn around, like it's dead end. And so then they turn back around, they drive really, really slow again. And I was like, that's so weird, whatever. Like, again, probably an Uber looking for like where to drop someone off or food or whatever. So Teddy and I are then finishing our walk, and we're coming like up this little hill that's by our building. And I see an SUV pull at the top of the hill into a very small parking lot that no one uses. And again, it's like dead end. So like to pull into the parking lot, there's dumpsters on one end, and then that's it. You have to pull back around to leave. In a tiny, tiny parking lot. We're talking like 12 spaces maybe. And the car doors open on either side. And I hear, "Are you Mr. Williams?"
No.
It's 10:30 at night.
No.
And I was like, and I didn't know what to say, because the thing is like, I don't know if someone's going to be like, "Oh my God, I love your TikToks." Or if they're like, "Oh my God, we can't have no queer people." And like, Right. And so I was like, I don't know what to say. So I was like, just looked at them. And so first off, the person driving got out, and then someone else got out on the other side, and the car's still on. It's in park, not a parking spot though. And they're just standing by the doors. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be one of those like...
Where were you?
I was probably like a good 20 feet away from them walking up the hill. So they were right in front of, where I had to go. And I was like... And I didn't want to be one of those like obnoxious vlogger moms on like, that are like, someone tried to traffic me at the Target. It's like, no, ma'am, someone's asking you to like help them get milk down from a shelf. Or they're like, there was a trash bag on my windshield. I'm like, yeah, because it blew there. No one's like, you're girl. So I didn't want to be that person that's like, danger. But I was like trying to replay what Oprah always told me about getting kidnapped. And I was like, something just doesn't feel right about this. And the woman goes, I love your stuff. I follow you on social media, and I thought I recognized your neighborhood. So then I went to go see if I could find you.
What?
And I was like, and I kept sitting there, and I'm like, again, like it's a big neighborhood, but who lives there. You get to know vehicles, And I'm looking, I'm like, I don't think it's dark though. It's 10:30 at night. Right. And I kept trying to think like, if she lives here, it's not that strange. Maybe she was driving home and saw me and Teddy walking. But I was like, I don't think she lives here. And like I said, it felt like she was lost. Like she was turning in ways that like dead ended. And so I was like,
wait, she recognized your neighborhood, or she recognized you?
Neighborhood. Okay, I recognized the neighborhood.
Okay.
And I was like, and she was like, do you mind if we take a picture? And I was like, and I just like picked up Teddy. I'm like, oh, we got to go inside. And I rounded the corner, and then I like waited to see if I could see them. And I ran upstairs and into the apartment, and I didn't even like go in. Like I went into to our apartment door, but wouldn't go into the living room because our blinds were open and there's a balcony there. And so I called for Jason. I was telling him, he's like, that's fucked. And I was like, I don't know that they were being malicious, but like a stranger approaching you at night in a like completely unlit parking lot at 10:30 being like, will you come over here and take a picture with us? No, I don't know you.
Where would you have ever had your neighborhood?
Like, there's been very few times on social media that I'm like walking Teddy and show Teddy like walking, like when he was like wearing his raincoat.
Weird.
Yeah. And like,
But what are the chances that you would be walking outside?
At that time, that's what made me feel so uneasy. I'm like, that was like really coincidental. Because if you lived there, you would have parked in your parking spot, got out and been like, oh, hey, like we live in that building. And that's not what happened.
Well, I feel like you wouldn't have been like, I recognize your neighborhood. You'd be like, I live here too.
You would have offered some, I feel like that. And again, I don't like, especially if they're listeners or if they do follow, I don't want to be a dick and be like, but like that made me feel so uneasy because I was like, I don't know you. Like, and
do you think they were like doing it multiple times until they found you? Because what, like, that's so coincidental that you'd be walking Teddy.
Right. You think you'd be like, oh my God, we were heading home, or oh, we were leaving a friend's house, or oh, we live here. And not like, I thought your neighborhood looked familiar. And then to be like, so like part of me was like, maybe they were at a friend's house and they were leaving their friend's house and like saw me, but someone would have been like, oh, I was just leaving my friends and I saw you. You wouldn't say, I recognized your neighborhood. I thought I recognized your neighborhood.
And she said what? And I wanted to come find
you. And when
we
wanted to see if we could, something along the lines like we wanted to see you, or when like we saw your neighborhood and we was wondering if we could find you.
That's
weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
That's really weird.
Yeah, that's
weirder than the funeral.
Yeah, that made me so uncomfy.
Yeah, it was. Tell and I were at a funeral, a viewing.
Yeah.
And I was like joking as we walked into the viewing. I was like, Tell, I hope no one recognizes you.
Right.
And within, 30 seconds, you think? Someone in the viewing line turns around and is like, I know you from TikTok. And I was like,
Yeah. And usually, like, I will say I love meeting people, but like I'm already socially awkward, but like time and place. Like if you see me at the grocery store or like at a bar or something, like feel free to come up and say hi, but like at a viewing, like,
or like maybe like in a lower voice.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It was just because we both kind of looked at each other and I was like, I'm mortified. Cause it was it was like shrieked, Mr. Ryan. And I was like, oh my.
And the line was so
dude,
long.
It took us 2 hours to get through the line.
So long.
Like this woman was incredible. Like people, like I love seeing that. Like you love that moment. It sucks when you're the one like waiting and it's like it was so hot. But like
God.
it was
I was so hot.
I was drenched. And it was so cold outside. But like it's always makes you feel good. Like to be like, oh my gosh, this person meant so much to other people. But you do not want to be pulling attention. No. It's like weddings and funerals. The attention shouldn't be on you, babes. It should be on the people getting.
Attention better not be on you at my wedding.
That's what I'm saying. Like you shouldn't. There's so many times that I'm like, it is wildly inappropriate for you to like approach people like here. And one of them, weddings, funerals. Like don't do it, people.
If people do it at my wedding, let's throw them out.
Yeah, I'll wear a wig.
Toss them out. You should wear a wig.
I'll look completely unrecognizable.
What are you gonna wear?
I have no idea.
Me neither. Sequins?
Yes.
Because that won't draw attention at all.
Not at all. No.
What are you going to do with your hair? Because it needs to be not that.
I'm going to shave it all off and then bleach it blonde. Like a Cisco moment. Oh. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then constantly just sing
perform the thong song?
I absolutely will. Well, I hand out both flip-flop thongs and regular panty thongs, underwear thongs. I hate that word. I don't know why I said
panty?
Ew, I hate it.
I hate it too.
Underwear.
That
was the story I had to tell you.
Oh my God.
So we digress.
Wildly inappropriate.
It truly is. But so today we were trying to figure out what to talk about, and yesterday I lost my mind a little bit.
Okay.
Because that bridge collapsed.
I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it right before we started filming, and I feel like everything Colleen told me isn't true because you just like negated it.
Yeah.
She told me there were no cars on the bridge.
So from what I read, and I will say, I read this like first thing in the morning yesterday. Like,
Okay.
I haven't checked on a lot since then because two of my biggest fears are like it's like megalophobia, like super big things, and bridges. It makes me want to throw up. So Jason's like, don't watch it. And I'm watching this giant fucking boat smack into a bridge. Like, no. But from what I read, there were people driving on it because they said that they could, with the sonic things, they could see that there were cars in the water, and they were still looking for 6 people. And it was like a search. It was no longer a search and rescue.
I thought Colleen told me that the people that died were working on potholes.
I don't think there were workers on the bridge.
Oh my God, so many
I don't know,
stories.
but
I was going to be like, let me look on my phone, but
it's being used. This is the thing too, that like, so today we're like, let's talk about conspiracy theories because there's a lot of them going rampant right now. Mm-hmm. And this is like one of those things, right? Like we start out knowing this, and then it turns into something like completely, I don't know, like it just spins out, it snowballs into like, what the fuck is this? But like the bridge one, I was like, this is terrible. And I think that's just like kind of what like made me just be like, oh my God, because it's gotten ridiculous. It's always been bad, but
what are people saying about it?
So they were like, there's so many people that are like, you know, coincidentally they did this at 3 a.m. because they're trying to get us to forget about this solar eclipse happening, and just like all these theories of like, kind of strange that all of these camera views caught it, and people are like, that's not strange at all. It's one of the biggest shipping ports. Like there would be, you know, cameras facing that 100%. And then people were like making things like, and everyone just reported that there were 6 people gone. It happened at 3 a.m. By the time information was out, they knew that they had to account for those. It was just spinning. People were just, you know, coincidentally, it just all fell down like that. Baby, this is the U.S. Our infrastructure isn't great. Baby, it's going to crumble. It's just the darkest shit, and people just go wild about it.
That is one of my biggest fears. Like, I distinctly remember when I was young, my dad told me that he was in California for a training or something. And for some reason, they had to walk across this bridge.
No.
And he said it was one of those bridges with like the grates on the bottom.
Yeah.
And I like distinctly remember being like, oh my God, Dad, I could never do that. I'm like so afraid.
No.
And I still like get afraid going over bridges, especially like the Walt Whitman.
Yep.
When you get stuck in traffic,
Yep.
like you could be on the bridge for like a really long time. Can you imagine if the Walt Whitman went down?
Whenever time we have to go past it, or go on it to go into the city, I will look down or close my eyes, and Jason just distracts me because again, it's like the double whammy. It's a bridge, and the like metal or whatever to steel holding up is huge, and then if you turn to the right, you can't even ignore it because then there's the shipyard. I'm like, I don't like it.
No.
And they
there's
wiggle.
so many bridges in Philadelphia.
For what reason? You know, I don't like it.
No, there's a lot.
There's a ton of bridges for some reason.
Yeah. Betsy Ross. What's the other one? Commodore Barry. What's the other one?
Walt Whitman, Betsy Ross, Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many bridges.
Too many.
So much potential for disaster.
Right, and that's why I'm like, and people, then someone at one point, which it clear was like, it's a terrorist attack. They're like, at 3 a.m. when it's like the least busy. That like it's, and it made me. As part of it made me like feel like, oh, this is shitty because like 6 people they can't find right now. I mean, as of us shooting this, I mean, it won't come out until Sunday. That's Wednesday, but 6 people are presumed dead. And you're starting conspiracy theories, like that's not a cute look, you know? And some of them are like, you know, some of it's like funny, like not funny, but like humorous to be like, look how much people are reaching. But I think it was between that, the solar eclipse right now, the Kate Middleton AI shit. I'm like,
what is the Kate Middleton AI shit? Okay.
So you know how there's like the conspiracy theory about Kate Middleton. And if you don't know, if you've been living kind of under a rock, Kate Middleton had major abdominal surgery. They said, hey, sister girlfriend, you won't see her until Easter. And people were like, cool. And then out of nowhere, people were like, actually not cool. We binged The Crown. Y'all shady as shit. Show us our girl. And so for UK's Mother's Day, which, why is UK's Mother's Day and the United States Mother's Day different?
I don't know.
I don't either. Like,
maybe
why
it's a conspiracy.
I think it is. It's like
those underground secret government societies.
Right. The Illuminati has something to do with that.
For sure. Maybe Hallmark.
Hallmark said we need to capitalize, and if we can have a Mother's Day, yes, if we can have a Mother's Day stretch out for months, that's monies, honey, money.
Anyone from England and the US, they celebrate 2 Mother's Days, vice versa.
Yeah, if it was all at one time, they don't get their bang for their buck.
Yeah.
And we're creating them now. So there was a picture of Kate and her kids on Mother's Day, and people were like, this is kind of fucked. And the AP said, hey, kill the photo. It's photoshopped, and we can't say it's legit. And the AP is like the most reputable, unbiased news that we have. And so people are like, where's Kate? And then it started this like, everyone's jumping in on it. Everyone's like making all these conspiracy theories. She's here. Then she went to like, I don't know. It sounds like it's probably like, I'm going to say this, people are probably like, that's absolutely not what it is. But it looks like it was some kind of like Hobby Lobby of the UK. Her and William were there, and someone took a really grainy video. Did you see the video?
Yeah.
She was like Bigfoot, like the one that's like on the side.
Yeah.
And people are like, that's not her either. And so she finally made a video, and she said, hey, y'all, I've been out because I have cancer. And people were like, well, if you watch the video, her engagement ring disappears. And if you watch the video, her hair doesn't move and nothing in the background moves. And those flowers aren't in season. And that's the exact same sweater she wore 7 years ago in the same place. And people like, they used a video of her in the same sweater in the same place before to like render on AI and look at all these inconsistencies. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. And so, like,
wow.
Part of me is like, because we were talking about like, where do we think Sister Girlfriend is, right?
Right.
And I think that like it was, someone said that trying to figure out what happened to Kate Middleton was our Tiger King again. Like Tiger King brought everyone together.
Yeah.
And so I can get like the idea when it was like playful fun, but then when she's like, yeah, no, I got the cancer, guys. And people were like, don't believe it.
What I don't understand, though, is like, why couldn't they just say what kind of cancer it was?
Yeah.
Because it just like leaves more questions. So it was like, I'm getting preventative chemotherapy.
Right.
Preventative chemotherapy could be like oral tamoxifen. It could be, IV chemotherapy inpatient. It could be, I don't know, interventional radiology.
Right.
I mean, it couldn't, because that wouldn't be chemotherapy, but in layman's terms, potentially.
Right.
So, like, is it appendix cancer? Are her and Colleen twinsies?
Yeah.
Am I also marrying into royalty?
Probably. No, like, and I think that, like, I'm glad you said that too, because people are like, there's no such thing as preventative treatment. Everyone's like, yes, there is. Like, I remember when I was teaching in Indiana, one of my managers had a very like stage 1, like very minimal case of breast cancer. And
a minimal case of breast cancer.
Right. What do you call that? I'm not. It like they caught it almost immediately.
Like a stage 1.
Yeah. I don't know like how to like what we're not. Any cancer, I guess, is severe and terrifying, but they were able to remove thank God. I was like, come on, Tal.
Yeah.
It was very early stage, and they were able to remove everything, and they were like, everything looks good, but they made her take a pill that she had to wear like a rubber glove with, because she was like, it's pretty acidic, or it's not good for you to touch. And I'm like, girl, but you taking it. But like, there is stuff. And so people who have no medical background were like, that's not true. That's not a thing. And so many doctors on TikTok were like, it is. They might call it something different there, but like, it's 100% a thing. And so I was like, okay, well, we know that. Great. So that was like, I do get that though, because they're not transparent with people.
Right. Because I'm thinking all sorts of things, right? So I'm like, so they didn't initially go in because it was cancer. They went in for some other reason and found it. So then I'm like, thinking Colleen. Colleen went in to get her appendix removed. Then they found cancer. Did she go in to have her appendix removed and they were like, JK, there's a tumor?
Right.
That could be it.
Yeah.
Did she go in to, I don't know, what other abdominal surgery you have? Like, did she go in to have a tummy tuck and there was just like a cancer blob?
And I like, there's like such a weird part of me because I always try to like, I want to be able to potentially see both sides. And so many people are like, damn, she has cancer and kids. Like, leave her be. And then the other people are like, their literal point of royalty is to be like pomp and circumstance or whatever, just like to be these images for us and to have transparency because like I don't want to say like they were the UK's like we pay their salary, but that's literally what they do. So like I think it's the lack of transparency with all of the other shit that they've known for doing that kind of throws people off. But like part of me is like, we don't have that here. We don't have royalty here. So I feel like everyone's entitled to some privacy. But I think when you're not giving information, you can't be too overwhelmed or upset when people are starting to speculate, especially when you've had things like a false image put out that you edited badly. Yeah.
But even so, I feel like in the US, like when most people come out saying they have cancer, they're not like, I have cancer.
They specify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I have prostate cancer. Well, I mean, I couldn't have prostate cancer.
But they specify usually.
Like, poor Alex Trebek had pancreatic cancer. Or Shannon Doherty, what does she have? Breast cancer?
I think it's breast, and now I think it's in the brain now or something. Yeah.
Oh, so sad.
But like, and some of it also is probably like us in the US not understanding some of like the social politics of the UK. Like they're a little bit more tight-lipped about things because I'm not seeing a lot of UK creators being up in arms about it. It's like all people in the US. I'm like, babe, we have nothing to do with that. Like, but like I get to the point of like, well, they've lied about other things. They've been shady about other things. The photo that they put out of her was clearly poorly edited and threw her under the bus for it. So I'm like, sister girlfriend, you guys are shady as hell for throwing the woman with cancer under the bus and being like, well, it's her fault. The photo looked like shit. I'm like, baby. So like that one, like, and so the conspiracy theory about, you guys will have to look at the video. She's like talking and moving her hands. Now you have to remember, anytime you put a video online, it compresses the file. So it can be a little bit more blurry or whatever. And people not even a split second, she goes like this and it looks like her wedding or her wedding ring, the blue one, goes away, and it doesn't. It's just like the light's reflecting off the top of it, which makes it look like it's blending into her finger for a split second.
Oh my God.
Like,
Did
y'all,
that happen to our ring?
I mean, I'm sure like with how fast she was moving, stuff like that, like whatever angle, but it was like, and then
maybe it just spun on her finger.
People were like, the flowers aren't in bloom, and people in the UK
like,
were
what
like,
are people saying? She's dead?
They think that like they're just setting it up for, her being dead, and that we're gonna find out soon that, or in a few months when they kill her off, or when they admit that she's gone, then they set it up this whole time. I'm like, that's a lot, babe. And like, again, like, I don't want to be that. I can't even like physically say like she knew what she was getting into when she was married to royalty, because that makes me feel gross. Because you can, we talked about consent before. You can consent to being like, I want to be a movie star, but you don't get to consent to some of that shit that happens to you afterwards, right? Like, she didn't consent to these wild allegations or having to publicly go through cancer treatment with people being like, she's dead. Like, y'all, she got kids. And like, here's the thing, I don't like the royal family. I think they're shit. They're colonizers, and we're taking this real seriously. But when Meghan Markle was literally in a mental health crisis near death by suicide, they were like, we hate her. So like, it's really hard for me to have Meghan that. Markle. I love her and Harry.
I love her. Suits is such a great show.
I watched the first season, and I was like, this is why people are addicted to it.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so many episodes. I'm like, there's just no way.
Oh, I binge watched it in like 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
I was devastated when it was over.
It's like that horrible, awkward moment when you're like actually sad. Like you feel like you're grieving the loss of a TV show.
I know.
I hate that.
I really do.
But she's amazing. And so when people
watch A Million Little Things?
Oh, no. Is that based off the book?
I don't know. Is that what it's called? A Million Little Things?
There's A Million Little Things. My dad and my stepmom used to watch it. I didn't watch that. Yeah, I didn't watch that.
Oh my God.
It seems sad.
The finale, like the series finale, I have never in my life wept to that degree.
Really?
Like, ever.
No.
Ever. It was like, whoever wrote that series finale, like, they should have an award show, like, just for that. And, like, you know, we've talked about before my best friend that passed away from cancer. And so a lot of times, like, I would associate that song from Wicked, like, For Good, with him. And so I'm going to, like, I'm going to try to not ruin the end of it.
Which is a spoiler alert. And then you can't.
Yeah, spoiler alert if you're going to watch it. Like, the end, like, really mimicked that. And, like, I'm already sobbing, right? And all of a sudden, they start playing For Good.
No way.
Yes. I have never heard For Good played in a TV show in my entire life. And I'm like sitting on the edge of the bed, like rocking back and forth, sobbing. Colleen comes into the room and she's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, no.
I'm not good.
I think you should watch the entire series, like, just to get to the series finale and, like, tell me if you felt the same way.
Probably, because I'm not going to lie to you. The dumbest, silliest TV shows, I don't know what it is, sob. Have you ever seen the TV show Broad City?
No.
I think it is one of the funniest TV shows I've ever seen. And the two women that wrote the show, starred in the show, created the show, were in our best friends in real life. You get to the season finale, spoiler, and
series finale or season?
Series finale, because the show's over. Okay. The series finale, and one of them moves away from the other. I was snot sobbing, and Jason's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "We have to pause it," because there's like a joke they make about like, if the end of the world happens, halfway between is St. Louis, and so they make a joke about meet me in St. Louis, and then
you know I could not,
girl,
the St. Louis.
The end of it, in the little note, she said she like is running away because she can't deal with emotions. She's like, "I'll meet you in St. Louis." I'm hysterical. It's a funny show.
I could not.
Unwell.
I could not.
It's not good.
I mean, I still say that people ask me sometimes, like, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to you? And, like, single-handedly, despite everything I've gone through, it was when my best friend Molly moved back to St. Louis.
It's devastating.
It was like, I remember, like, this is like a Taylor Swift song. Like, I was standing in the rain, in the dark, at 5 a.m. outside of our condo, watching her pull away because she was driving back to St. Louis, and it's raining, and, like, the rain's coming down on me, and I'm, like, watching the car go away, and, like, I was destroyed.
It's like
destroyed.
In the Hulk, like the last scene of him trying to hitchhike his way.
Yeah.
Play that music in the back. I would be devastated.
Oh my gosh. Devastated.
We got here because Meghan Markle.
Oh, Meghan Markle. Wait, but
Meghan
before you
Markle.
say that, talk about, like, crying at weird things. Did you watch Nip Tuck?
Yeah.
I sobbed at the series finale of Nip Tuck in the airport when they were looking at each other.
Yeah.
Remember? Did you cry?
I was a little younger, and I just thought the show was so, like, the serial killer chicken fat injection thingy just, like, terrified me. So I felt like I had to finish the show, but I was very nervous about the whole thing.
You should rewatch it.
I should, as an adult now.
In college, we used to have, like, Nip Tuck nights. I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, it was on Tuesday nights at 11. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 10 and 11. They would play it twice.
Yeah.
Terrified me, though.
Yeah, but Meghan Markle.
Meghan fucking Markle. I'm obsessed.
I know.
But, yeah, so, like, that's the Kate conspiracy theories have, like, I think when people were rebuttaling or whatever, just being like, this shit isn't real. People started being like, well, we need something else now. So then they jumped on this fucking bridge bandwagon, and the solar eclipse.
Oh, tell me about it. I don't know anything about it.
I'm surprised because I feel like, are you not, what's it? Astrology? Is that what it's called? Not astronomy. Or astronomy.
Astrology?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's astronomy is not the same as astrology, though.
No, it's not the
Astronomy is like the scientific study of.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm more like, I don't know.
Like crystal vibes and not
crystal
like.
Crystal vibes, moon stuff.
Okay.
A solar eclipse is kind of like mainstream
for
me.
So there's a solar eclipse happening, okay? And there's one a few years ago, I guess. I know there was because I was teaching at the time, and, we did the whole, like, look up at the sun stuff with glasses on. But anyways, there's another one coming. And people are like, this only happens every 200 years. And I was like, that's not true. And then people are like, well, why is it happening so close to the other one? If you look at it, it causes, from the last one to this one, it's an X right across here. And people are like, why do Americans only think about Americans? It also doesn't, like, and so then someone else was like, and no, there was another one that would put another cross here that happened just a few years ago before that. So like people are debunking it, and then people are finding other things. But so there's a solar eclipse happening going through the U.S. and the last time it happened, people were stuck in traffic for like 24 hours if they went to a city that was in the direct line of it. No. And because people didn't anticipate this being a thing, people were running out of gas, they were running out of food on the highway. Like it was a major issue. And like, because it's only in like the total eclipse is only in this like, little string across the US, a lot of people will drive there.
Yeah, I have like 3 patients that are going to see it.
Yeah. Like, and people like Jason wanted to go do it. I'm like, no. And I was telling him like, why? And like NPR was doing something about like why people, should be like just cognizant of going to this. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that a lot of times people will go to these like, BFE little towns, which is totally great, but like they don't have the capabilities of like housing people if you need to pull off the highway or something, right? Mm-hmm. So the last time it was a hot mess. And so now people in like news stations are saying stock up on groceries and gas, or stock up on food and gas for the eclipse. And people are like, in fucking Oklahoma where it's not happening at all, are like it's the end of the world. No, babe. They're saying if you're going to the space or your town or if people can go to your town, get some stuff, because one, food might be, a lot of the food might be gone because we're going from a town of 10,000 to like 200,000 so people see the eclipse. And because like a lot of workplaces are closing that day, one, so people can see, and two, because they know people won't be able to get to work because of the traffic. Mm-hmm. But people aren't understanding that. They're hearing, get the stuff because you're going to need it. And people are like, because the world's exploding.
It's kind of like Y2K.
It 100% is like Y2K.
Yeah.
Do you remember Y2K?
Yes. I distinctly remember. I feel like I say I distinctly remember all the time. I'm going to stop saying that.
No, do it. Keep doing it.
I had this nightshirt that was the Y2K bug. Do you remember the bug? Yes. I loved it. I loved that nightshirt.
So Y2K, I don't remember what grade I was in.
I was in 8th grade.
2000. I was in fourth grade. My dad, any conspiracy theory, all conspiracy theory he believes, but he doesn't really do anything about them, which is what I love. He's like, oh no, that's probably real, but he's not one of those like, crazy like QAnon people. He's just like, yeah, probably. So Y2K though, he was like, the world's ending, and my parents were divorced, and so my dad had us. It was his holiday for New Year's for Y2K. Uh-huh. And he has us huddled in the basement with like not even a like office like water cooler size of water, like a little jug of water, and like a few things of soup. And he was like, "Oh God, this is it!" As the clock's counting down, and we thought the world was ending. It didn't.
Oh my God!
I also don't remember at the time. Indiana didn't do daylight savings at the time. So I like to think too that we were in Central Time, and like it had already been midnight on the East Coast. My dad just completely like went over his head. But like we thought we were gonna die for Y2K.
I still don't get it to this day. Like, why?
I think someone tried to explain to me, and I still don't get it, but it's like something about all technology. They didn't think the world was ending. They thought technology was like exploding because they thought everything was only built for ones and zeros. And when it got to the 2000s, they wouldn't know, our technology wouldn't know how to compensate for it. So it would just like, everything would stop working. So like pull your money out and this, and all the electricity grids would go off, and like it didn't happen.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And so like that was a thing. And I'm like, this is
at least we didn't have like Instagram and TikTok back then. It would have been right. Like,
people would be like,
TikTok is ending for real this time.
People would have been like, yeah, TikTok's ending and the world. We had AIM, and it was like early stages of AIM.
Early.
Yeah, nobody was on there AIMing about this.
No.
You know, I mean, I don't know. There's probably
we were going into like O-Town chat rooms.
Yeah, we're like, it's
Ashley Parker,
all or
Angel.
nothing. Love him.
Liquid Dreams.
Yeah, most inappropriate song, and
I
I
know.
loved it as a kid.
Me too.
And
Why
I was like,
was that okay?
Girl, I don't know. But I was like, I didn't get any of it. I didn't know what it was about. But I'm like, yeah. And then
Speaking of creepy old dudes, Lou Pearlman.
Who?
The one that created Liquid Dreams, the
Oh,
Backstreet
okay,
Boys,
yeah.
NSYNC.
He's an absolute asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like him and the Nickelodeon Foot guy, they're probably friends.
No. Dan Schneider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet they're friends.
Ew. Like, I don't like
Yeah.
asshole people.
He probably came up with Liquid Dreams, like, and the foot.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Together, they probably were like feet and Liquid Dreams.
The whole thing is like, and I think, so this is my issue, and I was going to talk about this later, but you brought it up now, so why not? We'll just cut it. Solar eclipse. It's not the end of the world. It's not happening.
Oops.
Everything's good. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Don't be. People were like, well, my mom said that it's been hotter lately, and so they think there's something wrong with the sun. Like the sun has been more hot lately. Like I think people think that like we're like faking the sun, and I'm like, baby, it's more hot because we're killing the fucking planet because there's holes in our ozones. Like that's why, babes. And then someone else was like, my mom for the last 4 years, like, you know, has looked up and said the sun's not in the right spot. I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
Maybe not, guys. Maybe the sun is burning out, because I would be too at this point. If you said stupid shit like that, I'd be like, peace.
I mean, listen, when I'm floating in my baby pool in the backyard, I'm saying the sun's not in the right spot, but
it's not.
that's
Yeah,
just because
you need to
trees are
right, like
in my way.
Right. It's like,
I mean, it is devastating.
It is.
'Cause you're like, look at that bright
Right.
sun. Why isn't it on?
why
me?
isn't
But,
you have to like, that's when you have to look at like what direction the shadow's going, and then like move that way. I don't know.
or don't do that at all because you don't want to get skin cancer.
Yeah, you don't want that. You slather up on the SPF.
Right. Yeah. Always.
There's nothing better though than like slathering up on like SPF 100, but just being like warm outside.
Oh,
it feels
I
so
know.
nice. It's not warm
Or
right
being
now.
somewhere tropical and still getting tan with SPF 100 on.
Yeah, and then you know that you're not like horrifically damaging your
Right,
skin. It's
right.
gradual.
Well, we're lucky because both of our ethnicities allow us to tan easily.
Puerto Rican and Italian, baby.
Yeah. Do you
Thank
think we'll
God.
get tan in Florida in April?
I will be, yeah,
You think?
like yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Usually, like even now, if the UV is at like 3, and I go like on a run and I have a tank top on, I come back home. Like last April, I had a wicked farmer's tan.
Oh,
Beginning of April, I was like, oh, I'm checking the UV. I'm like, you know, I still put on SPF and stuff. And I came back and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I usually get real dark in the summer.
so do I, but
We're going to
We'll
find out
see.
in Florida.
yeah. We'll see. How did we get to that then? Where are we?
Because of
going
the
back?
sun.
Oh, the sun.
Everyone's thinking that the sun's like being
Right.
like this like manufactured. Like we
Right.
have a giant ass tanning bed in the air, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
you guys will say anything then admit that we're killing off the planet. Like my God. But yeah, the world's not ending because of a solar eclipse. I promise you all. And if it is, I guess we're gonna be in NBC's Heroes, and maybe we'll all get superpowers.
we won't know anyway. If it
Yeah,
does,
it's fine.
so
We'll
it's fine.
just live it up. Put
Yeah.
the sunglasses on and
Yeah. Back to the foot.
back to the. So this was my other thing about conspiracy theories, right?
Okay.
When we sit there and make these conspiracy theories up, or we don't believe Kate Middleton because of this, and this, or like, what happens, and this has happened for years, is when we create these conspiracy theories, and I will admit some of them happened to be true, like some random ones that like the Dalai Lama making a bunch of money, like all this stuff, like you know, the CIA trying to do mind control when we found out they're using like LSD to try to do it. It wasn't mind control, but they were experimenting with medications and stuff. Like some of them, yeah, most of them no. But do you remember when Twitter was like kind of first starting, and Amanda Bynes created a like, what do the kids call it?
Oh, I know.
A Finsta or whatever. It's
yeah,
like a fake account or whatever.
Right.
Or like an anonymous account or whatever. I think it was like Ashley something. But Amanda Bynes made a Twitter account, and was talking about a bunch of stuff that happened, and that she was using that account because people were using her other one, and they were like, this isn't fake. This isn't real. And then she took a picture of her ID and was like, no, this is Amanda Bynes. And then was saying like all this shit that's happened to her. And people were like, well, she's just crazy then. And then this Nickelodeon show comes out. And I want to be like, y'all got to apologize to Miss Amanda.
Yeah.
Like,
what was she saying on the Twitter? I don't even remember that.
I think at one point she says something about like her boss like assaulting her, or like maybe like getting pregnant and like an abortion or something from her boss, or
oh my.
And then a bunch of like mental health stuff that was happening to her. And like, it's one of those things too where it's like, you know, there's all these conspiracy theories about Britney Spears, and we found out that a lot of those were true, right? Mm-hmm. But
besides like the fake Britney thing,
right, where I'm talking about like when people were like, I think that she's being like forced to take medications, and like she actually doesn't want to be here, right, and like all that stuff, and we're like, oh, it is true. But then like we illegitimize stuff by being like, again, it's hard because like we're validated through those things, mm-hmm, and then we go overboard, like, well, her wedding was completely fake, and this was completely fake, and she's actually dead, and why are her teeth like that? And then so many people have been like,
why are her teeth like that, though?
I think it's from the lithium and stuff.
Really?
I do. Well, that, and I don't think she's probably gone. I think she definitely got veneers at one point, so I don't know that she, like, you have to get your veneers replaced. Do we know that
she's on lithium?
She was. I don't think she currently is. I'm pretty confident she talked about the lithium.
Is she on anything?
I don't know.
Oh. Sometimes I look at like celebrities with mental illness and I think like, I wonder if I could like make their medicine better.
Instead of like, well, the thing is too, you have to think like, and we've talked about this before, like our clients aren't always guaranteed, right? Like my job as a therapist is to not have that client forever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or people switch over, people move and stuff like that. And so like, I can't imagine that some of these celebrity doctors, when they are like, I can tie myself to this person indefinitely for forever, don't do some fucked up stuff like Michael Jackson's, you know, mm-hmm, doctor and stuff. So yeah, I bet like an ethical person, like you could go and be like, yeah, she doesn't need this shit, or she might need this shit, or why don't we try this, or listen to what she wants maybe, or I don't know, like, because we also fuck people up in this idea of forcing medications or therapy on them when they're not ready, and then it completely ruins their experience. And now I don't blame her. I also, you know what? Let Britney dance crazy on there. Let Britney have her fun. Let Britney be a little silly and a little wacky online, because she's gone through it.
Well, yeah, but the other thing with that is, and now we're totally off topic, but like, how much psychoeducation has she gotten, right? Because I've seen this like with celebrity clients that I've seen, like personally seen, that like there's not a lot of psychoeducation so that they like understand their diagnosis and what's actually possible with treatment, right? Because they're associating treatment with like over medication. Yeah, right. They need, but it doesn't have to be that.
No, I think what it is they need fixed, which there's not a fix. We need fixed right here, right now, so we can continue to do XYZ, right? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna crank up medication that works almost immediately, or we always want to minimize symptoms, so we want to do it in a healthy, in a long way, mm-hmm, and not in a let's think about, well, if we give them this and this right now for the next 6 months, they'll probably be good. Mm-hmm. That catches up on you. You know what, mm-hmm, I mean? Like, especially, mm-hmm, when, like you said, when they're just like throwing medications, like, mm-hmm, these poor, like, you know, early movie stars, the kids like Judy Garland and stuff like that, they were getting upper in the morning, wake up, and then we're given a downer. They were forced and told like when they can and can't sleep. Mm-hmm. Like, we've always treated celebrities like that, I feel like. Yeah.
I feel like with Britney Spears, like, it could get better than this.
100%. And, like, but again, like, I don't necessarily blame her. The conspiracy theories people had out on her, that, like, now she is on Instagram, like, she sees, right? People are like, she wrote this book. Why isn't she going on tour for it? Everyone goes on book tours and does interviews. Baby, it was a bestseller. She didn't have to do it. And, mm-hmm, girl, if you don't have to do the work, why do it? But also, like, if you ever go back and look at all these interviews, people were gross and horrible to her. I mean, said mean shit to her, mm-hmm, would make her sob and cry and like blame things on her that weren't her fault. And like, I don't blame her for that. And so the thing I find just completely baffling is we did this with Britney, and I just don't feel like there's been this as much support, because Brittany was like our pop star, but Amanda Bynes was our girl. She was our everyone loved her silly little movies that they made, that she'd make. She's the Man, and like Sydney White, was called, or Sydney, her little Snow White one, I can't remember what that one was. They were I loved them. I love
She's the Man.
She like had the potential of transitioning to being like this. I mean, she did. She was like this big, went from like a kid star, teen star to like an adult, like I was gonna say adult star, but like that, and not as in like porn, but like a movie star. And like Easy A, she was hilarious in Easy A. Like, and she's so funny. And so I think like she's sitting there on the Twitter being like, yo, this, I'm not good. And people are like, well, then she's crazy. And it's like, maybe she's having mental health issues. And, you know, but like, you have to remember there's incentives for people like Amanda Bynes, who was in conservatorship, for people like Britney Spears, who were in conservatorship, for them, and again, this isn't conspiracy. We've seen it with Britney. We've seen it with Amanda Bynes. There is incentive for the person not getting fully better. And that is that we still get the reins on that. So I feel like when we do things like illegitimize, you know, Kate Middleton's experience and give conspiracy theory on that, then we have to we have to go back and say, y'all, we fucked up with Amanda Bynes. We fucked up with Britney Spears. We can't keep doing that. You know, Wendy Williams, we did that with, and my baby girl, like someone said, and it was like, I wonder, crime, like that's like the most, I hope I hope Wendy hears this. But someone said, I want her to heal and she needs to heal, but god damn, would she be good right now with all this shit out? She would be setting people straight. Oh, she would be like, Kate Middleton's fine, or like talk about the hot goss, but like, as much as I want her to want her take on all this stuff, I'm like, she needs to heal and to rest, because people were, again, so unkind to her and bashed her. And then when she went away and she's super sick now, people are like, oh my God, I miss her. Well, you weren't nice to her when she was here. And yeah, she was a disc jockey, her job, or shock jockey. That was her job. And she wasn't always the kindest, most ethical person, but like no one deserves what she's got. Sister girlfriend.
What she went through is devastating.
Because you watched the full documentary, the newer one. Yeah, I tried watching. I was like watching the like TikToks on the actual like what's it called, account of like Lifetime or whatever it was on. Yeah. And she just looked not like herself, and it made me feel icky. But I really wanted to watch it because I want to understand it, and I want like to be able to talk to like clients about it and about like.
Well, her thyroid condition really made her look different because of the bulging eyes.
And like the bulging eyes wasn't as dark to me as like the vacancy behind them for the most part. And I think that's what it was. It's just like she just wasn't like herself, you know? And I was just like, we don't got to be putting her on TV if she doesn't want to be. But then I also think it got people to be like, let's advocate for her. So there was like, I don't know, but so many of those celebrity fucking conspiracy theorists, I'm always just like, this isn't true. And I'm like, maybe. But what type of person do you think it is that like is more prone to like fall for the conspiracy theories? Or do you think it takes a specific type of person that is more likely to believe a conspiracy theory, or no?
That's a good question.
And I mean like I don't mean like the let's josh around about Kate Middleton until we found out something actually fucked up happened. I'm talking about people who are like, Y2K is happening, or like JFK never died, and well, you know, Disney's on ice. Like, you know, like
I feel like it has to be rooted in some type of anxiety. If it's not like a disconnect from reality, I think anxiety drives those kind of irrational thoughts. It's like something you have to believe in order for like things to be okay.
Yeah, because like some of it I'm like, okay, like maybe it's just, I don't know how big of a part of it is. It's like people's inability or not educated to know like where to find reputable sources, and like how to like go and read through an article that's like, this isn't from a reputable source, or it's a .com instead of a .edu or a dot, you know what I mean? If you're looking for like a scholarly kind of thing, because there's so many times people are like, look at this news article that was published, and you can type it into Google, and it's not a news site. Not only is it not a news site, but they're the only ones that reported on it. You know?
Well, that happens in mental health all the time, because like one article comes out and it's like, desvenlafaxine makes you gain 300 pounds. And it was just like one anecdotal story, right? So I tell my patients all the time, like, you want to look for a meta-analysis or a review of the literature. And then that way they're going to synthesize actual scholarly articles. It's going to give you the limitations. It'll say, like, you know, there's not a ton of literature on this with a larger sample size or whatever. Like when they came out with the article that like broccoli helps autism.
Right.
Like it was one study at one place with a small sample size that hasn't been reproduced.
Right.
But those articles come out all the time, and a lot of them are purely correlational.
Yep. And we have to understand too that people are looking for a desired outcome, right? So some of these conspiracy theories that we spin, especially medical ones, like, we have to understand, like, go to the thing and it'll tell you if there's conflict of interest. And if they don't, if they're unethical and don't blatantly tell you there's conflict of interest, go through their references. Or what I used to do is I would go see where that person works. And I'm like, oh, you know, do this and this for that company anyways. So there's like ways of like, you know, looking to see if it's an ethical, like there's one article that came out about how this percentage of trans people regret transitioning. And in reality, the scholarly study showed that the people who regretted it did not regret it. They just stopped taking HRT because they had the desired outcome they wanted, or because they were like, I feel feminine or masculine or non-binary enough. I don't need to take it anymore. It didn't mean that they didn't identify as trans anymore. They're just like, I got my desired outcome. I don't want to continue with it. That doesn't mean that they regretted being trans. It means that they stopped the medication. And it's not at all the same thing, but people ran with that language and they used it on that for years.
Right. And the thing is, too, even if that were to be accurate, it would still be one study.
Exactly.
So you have to reproduce another study showing the same outcome. Otherwise, there's 10 million variables
100%.
that could have led to that. You know, it's really like, I have a problem with a lot of correlational research that is not well explained,
right?
Like in the media. Like, I'm trying to think of what the other thing was. Oh, it was my sister-in-law said that taking stimulants during pregnancy is associated with higher rates of aggression in like the child in the future. That there are so many problems with that statement. Like, first of all, that's not a thing. There's not research that supports that. But even if there was a study that said that, right, you have to think about all of these factors. Someone that takes a stimulant has a mental illness. They have ADHD. They're also, if they have ADHD, they might have bipolar disorder. They might have anxiety, depression, borderline personality disorder. And then they have a child. And we know that mental illness is hereditary.
Right.
And then that child may have some disorder that leads to aggressive behavior, or aggressive behavior is reinforced in the setting that they're in their environment.
The difficult thing about doing those types of studies is that we have to take in consideration the variant of the homes. Right. And the upbringings and mental health in the families in order to reach an outcome that says all of that, right? Because
and you can never hold all of those things constant.
No,
ever.
No. And it's also anything that deals with like women and pregnancy and mental health, I'm always just like, well, the US hates women and the medical field hates women, so they're going to do anything to make them like more miserable or feel guilty about getting treatment for things that they, you know, like, let that be her choice of what she wants to do. Like,
oh my God. Absolutely. I mean, I think it's actually gotten better over the years. Like, OBs have become more attuned to like, let's see like what's best for the mother and like weigh the risk. I mean, not all, but in terms of like me prescribing to people, it's a lot like wider of a I don't know what the word is. I'm able to prescribe more things during pregnancy than I was 10 years ago.
Yeah, like there's a better understanding of it.
Yeah.
Which is great that,
especially for ADHD. Like, can you imagine just having like raging ADHD your entire pregnancy?
I don't want to have raging ADHD on like a Saturday morning. I can't remember. I can't imagine like.
Right. My best friend Molly took her medicine the entire pregnancy, had the baby 2 weeks early, and it was almost 11 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want baby.
Right. Again, correlational, one story,
like,
whatever.
Yeah, but like
there's so many conspiracy theories with like infants too, vaccines.
Oh my gosh, like especially during COVID and stuff, I was like, y'all, I don't even like. There's so many things that I'm like, I am not a medical professional, and maybe this is silly of me. It is sometimes because like any sector of work, not all of them are always ethical. But I was like, I want to go be able to go to a bar and have a margarita again. I'm gonna get a fucking shot. I'm sorry, guys. Like, and people are, but it's making your ears turn green. I'm like, I'll be green ears. I don't care. Like, I don't like. I couldn't even keep up with all of the conspiracy theories about it because I was like, also anything medical related. The raging anxiety I had as a child, after September 11th, like the months following that, there was the anthrax conspiracy. Everyone was getting anthrax in the mail. But getting anthrax, it was like baby powder.
Yeah.
But we would take turns doing chores, and one of them was checking the mail, and I was fucking terrified to check the mail.
Really?
Listen, I didn't know what anthrax. I still don't know what anthrax really is, but I would thought, I'm gonna go outside and open that mailbox, anthrax, in my face. Doesn't work that way. It didn't happen. But in my head was like, this conspiracy theory blew up. Any kind of medical conspiracy theory instantly like terrifies me. The Mayan end of the world calendar thing. When was that supposed to be? Like December 22nd or 23rd, 2020. Do you remember when the end of the world was supposed to be?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
So many ends of the world.
There was like a Mayan calendar that they were like, oh my God.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I knew it was a conspiracy theory.
You didn't know
I knew it was. I knew like not even conspiracy theory. I was like, yeah, it is, right? Because like the Mayans like didn't mess up. They knew, like they probably just like it has to end by then. I knew it wasn't gonna happen. I was so fucking scared that day.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but like, what if?
Yeah.
I couldn't get it together.
I'm very much like not a conspiracy believer. Yeah, not really.
I think like
I'm very like evidence based.
Yeah.
Like even if a client asks me a question and I know the answer to it, like I'll still look up the literature.
Same.
Like right then in that moment. What did I do it for yesterday? Oh, for poor 2D6 metabolizers that take opiates. Like I knew the answer, but I was like, let's just see what the literature says today.
Right. I want to make sure I'm definitely correct. Yeah. And like, and it's also validating to do that then because like, I was right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But but like if I Googled it,
right,
that would be a disaster.
Yeah. I don't know. That's why like
you gotta have those things. Is the key.
That's where it's at. That's how you figure out.
Yeah.
What is right and what is wrong.
Sometimes you read multiple meta-analyses. Got to read the most recent.
You got to know what's going on.
I know.
We can't be falling for those conspiracy theories.
I know. I mean, at least you can like test some things out, I guess. But
I just feel like when it comes to our mental health and conspiracy theories, it just sends people into balls of depression and anxiety and like it's just why do you want to live your life with that much fear and anxiety?
It's anxiety based, right? Like if you have less anxiety, you're not going to worry so much about something that's improbable.
Right.
And that anxiety is inherently irrational.
Right.
Whether the thought's irrational or the degree to which it distresses you is irrational.
Right.
So conspiracy theories fit perfectly within that.
Well, it allows you to fixate and like validate your anxiety, right? Because if like no one's believing the anxiety or whatever, you can fixate on something tangible they can discuss. Like, you can displace it there instead of like...
Right.
Because my guess is if people were like anxiety free, I don't know that we'd jump onto these conspiracy theories as much.
No, probably like some pop culture stuff just because people like to speculate, but
100%.
a lot of these things we use to distract ourselves from dealing with whatever is going on with us.
100%. Like, it's a fun distraction because, like, the world sucks and everything, but, like, baby, time to close that book, and, like, we just have to accept that the world's kind of shit right now, and that Kate Middleton's not driving a giant fucking boat to crush a bridge, to distract us from the solar eclipse.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's only just going to get worse with the election coming up.
100%. We're going to be in for a treat for that one.
Oh, it's going to be a time.
It's going to get messy. It's going to be funny, but messy.
It's going to be filled with a lot of self-tanner.
I've washed all mine off. Yeah. So this was probably the most, like, wild and, like, sporadic. But if there's one thing I know, it's conspiracy theories are interesting, if not anything else.
Right. I mean, I feel like it's kind of our jam. We're just, like,
pop culture and random conspiracy shit.
You just go from one thing to another.
Right.
That's how I live my life.
Let us know in comments or wherevs your favorite conspiracy theory. Or debunk some of ours if they,
It'd be cool to do some mental health ones. Like, the broccoli and autism.
Yeah.
Or, like, benzos and dementia.
Yeah.
There's a lot like that,
like
right?
mental health and yeah. There's, like, the new mental health disorder that, like, causes faces to be warped into, like, demonic ones. People are like, that's new, and I'm like, that's not new at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
A mental health one.
Yeah, and there are, like, actual real ones.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so we could do that. Yeah, if people like that idea,
let us know.
Yeah, you can post it on the socials.
Yeah, tell us your favorite little conspiracy theory moments, or which ones you believed in.
Yeah, or do believe, or just, like, question, like, I hear this, is this true?
Yeah, we'll debunk it. We'll debunk mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mental health debunked. That's good. We like that.
We got it.
We like that.
Killed it.
All
right, BBs. We will see you next time. Keep an eye out for some fun, like, little shirts or pens if you guys want to grab those. And we'll see you in a week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.